This goes out to all the guys who like to play basketball in the rain with no clothes on. This is for you. I know Jesus saves. I wish he'd save us from this podcast. I know he looks after you and me, but I wish he'd take us far away from here.
Everybody to It Doesn't Matter. I'm one of your hosts, Shorts. That's Hello. We just tweet out the we got a fun show tonight, I think.
Yo, I can't hear you. Put my headphones up.
You can't hear me at all?
No, I can, but you're very low.
How about that?
Sure. Why don't you guys let us know in the chat if Shorts is really low or not.
We literally just went through this before the show.
I know. You sounded way better before. I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah, I want to start the show off by giving the shout outs to all of our $8 sillies out there. We added a new couple of ones this week. John Rage, AJ McCown, Brian Altman, Ernesto Ladon, Benjamin Ward, Dave Izzle, Brendan Cooney, Matt Dotson, and Spider Clamp.
Oh, so John Rage is a $8 big silly now?
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
I hear his name on Deuce's show all the time. He's like,
okay, cool.
He's very involved with that show, so that's cool. Maybe he heard that the Rodcast we did was a hit and wanted to celebrate or wanted to check us out before that episode drops. Yeah, that
comes out tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. Yeah. He's doing the CD bit. He's selling them at a store. So yeah, check that joint out. But it's good. It's good to be live with you for the first time in 2 weeks. You know, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a barn burner of a week. Of course, it started off you and I and Brett, Sup Augs, met up at in lovely downtown Newark, New Jersey for UFC 288, which was a ton of fun. I mean, the last two fights kind of sucked ass, but that's all right. It's gonna happen.
Dude, the last two fights, like they freaking like almost ruined the night for me. I was so, I don't know. It's just watching that shit live, watching those fights live when they're just doing the lay and pray bit and just wasting time is annoying. But actually being there and just like surrounded by a sea of booze,
yeah,
is like
more ways than one.
Yeah, it's like, this is so frustrating. But it doesn't matter. We had a good time. It was fun. I don't know. I saw your show sheet, the list of notes that you put down. You had plenty of takeaways from that.
Well, first of all, it kind of started off a bit of an S show. We all met up. Brett hooked the hotel room, which was really cool of him. He like burned his Marriott rewards points or something, but I got there like hours before everybody else because I drove. Thanks for coming with me. I appreciate it. And so I get to the front desk, and of course it's like an ordeal, like trying to get checked in. And I'm texting Brett, and I already feel bad because he paid for the room. But the lady at the front desk is like, well, we don't have your name approved to be able to check in. And I'm texting Brett and I'm like, this lady's giving me like the runaround. And he goes, I literally called them this morning and spoke with them on the phone for like an hour to make sure all this was set up and good to go.
Yeah, and Brett was on his flight while you're telling him all this.
Dude, like the timing couldn't be worse. Like he's about to take off from North Carolina to meet us up in Newark.
Yeah.
And I'm just flaming him, John Paul flaming him with like, just updates about how much of an annoying dean this lady is.
Vagina.
Yeah.
And it didn't get any easier because she's like, well, we have to go by certain protocol, especially for our rewards members. And I'm like, wait, wouldn't you want to make it easier on your rewards members? Why are you making it more difficult for them to like get what they want? It didn't make any logical sense what was happening. And I was getting irritated, but typically, you know me, I'm not good at getting what I want out of those situations. But I was like so peeved. I was fuming peeved.
I was
I was TO'd.
I think that you have a thing where you don't like to fucking like make it awkward and get to like the level of, unnecessary confrontation, or I guess unnecessary in some ways confrontation. Not saying you're afraid of confrontation, but
oh yeah, for sure.
I think I'm better with like if I'm upset and I feel like somebody is doing something to wrong me, like I can take it to that place, but I don't think I've seen you do that a lot of times in the past.
So me and Brett were texting again. Brett's on his flight, getting ready to take off, and he's dealing with BS about checking into the hotel. And I go, look, I feel really bad about in positioning you like this, Brett. I go, I'm going to stand here and I'm not leaving. I will make it as awkward as it needs to be. I'm not leaving until I get what I came for.
Yeah.
And so he starts like
you wanted to get up to the room as quickly as possible so you could beat off for 2 hours.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. She's cutting into my time, my solo time. And obviously I would have done it in front of you, but it would have been way more awkward.
Yeah, I know.
So she's giving me the runaround about all this business. And Brett goes, all right, look, I'm texting their chat line right now. And then like 5 minutes passes and she's like typing and clicking, all kinds of clicking and typing and different computers and pretending to be busy. We all know nothing's happening. There's nothing going on her end. And then and Brett goes, all right, I'm he goes, I'm unloading on this chat. This is so irritating. I had this all set up.
Yeah.
It should have been handled. It should have been fine. I had your name and Othello's name on there. This is so stupid. And he goes, wait a second, they're writing back. And I go, okay, all right, cool. What are they saying? What do I need to do? And he goes, he goes, she's actually answering the chat. I didn't know it went directly to her. And I could just see her face getting Rick.
That's so funny.
So distraught. And then she's starting to mutter under her breath. She goes, I mean, I don't know why he has to be so nasty. It doesn't do anything. And I was like, he's nice to got us a room because that's what we booked.
Yeah, seriously. I hate when people are in customer service and they're just fucking the least like friendly, helpful people that you can encounter. It's like, what does she get out of keeping you out of the room? It makes zero sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense, and we both know how this is going to end. It's going to end with me in that room. So why are you making it difficult?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. But before we get into the other skits and bits at UFC 288, we should tease the fact that former CNO show producer Doug Tetrall, D-Tet, will be joining the show probably in like 20 minutes. If you don't know who he is, you're in the majority of. But I think I first heard about him when he was an intern for Big O and Dukes. He was Doug the intern, the OG intern.
He might have predated all of us, or both of us.
Definitely, yeah,
all two of us.
So he did a lot of bits with Big O and Dukes, and then he worked at the station for a long time, and he was the producer for the CNO show. And kind of like I did with I think the second episode of this podcast, where I did kind of a tell-all and told a bunch of, wacky stories from my time at the station. He's got a ton of stories. He worked on LeVar and Dukes, so he has a bunch of stories about dealing with
LeVar and Dukes
and bar and stuff like that. And so he's going to join us here in about 20 minutes, but he's going to do the tell-all during the Patreon episode. So, Patreon subscribers, you're in for a treat. If you're not a Patreon sub, that's okay, but you're missing out. But he's coming on in a little bit.
So when we were out at Prudential Center in Newark fights, the wacky bit started before we even got into the building, first of all. Because we had all kind of agreed, all three of us, you, me, Brett, that we were going to go all in on bits. And that means
that's right.
Yeah, right. If we see fighters walking around, because one thing that is so cool about the UFC, and you got to give them credit for this, if nothing else, like their fighters are so available. And most people won't know what they look like, especially like the younger guys. But I know you and Brett definitely do. And just walking around the concourse, like before the fights, during the fights, all that stuff. And they're just right there. So if you know what they look like, of course, just go up and get a picture. And they're always cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, and you can kind of tell who is a fighter and who isn't, because people are like crowding around them and, they look like fighters.
Well, we got the pic with Terrence McKinney, T-Rex, W-R-E-C-K, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the picture. Do you have the picture of you and that other fighter by any chance?
Yeah. Which one?
It's
the short dude.
Well, how many pictures did you get with fighters?
I think I personally got 3. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. The first one I got.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, like, the fighters. Here's the difference between the UFC and like the NBA and shit like that. Like, if you're in the NBA, you're probably a millionaire, Whereas like in the UFC, there's a shit ton of people who just fought on the undercard who have 2,500 followers on Twitter, and they're just butt-sized for any sort of attention, any sort of ADs, attention dollars, as at Rom Junkies would say. So yeah, it's cool. It's like, whoa, I just saw you fight and you're out here fucking chugging a beer with your 6th girlfriend.
Yeah.
So we were walking the concourse and we just see like anybody who's like taking pictures and we're like, oh shit, that guy must be a fighter. So it is kind of cool.
Well, even before we got in, there was this guy that he kind of looked like a fat, older Dana White. Like just a bald, like Italian looking dude. And I go, Brett, look, that's Dana White. And then he turns to me and he realizes immediately I'm doing a bit. I'm laughing. And I go, look, just get me close. If I can just get close to him, just pull out your phone and get a pic.
Yeah.
So we actually kind of creepily follow this guy into the arena, up the escalator. He makes it about. I'm like racing down the concourse because he's about 50 yards ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I just slink up behind him and I put my arm around his shoulder and I go, hey man, can I get a pic? I'm a huge fan.
Huge fan.
And he goes, with me? And I go, yeah. And he goes, why do you want to pick with me?
Yeah.
And I go, you're Dana White. He goes, come on, man, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I mean, keep in mind, we're in Newark, New Jersey. So, like, it's probably like, fucking, like
it's like a Guido. Yeah.
Guido, like, a C-list cast member off Real Housewives of New Jersey. Like, yeah, that guy had a thick neck and he was kind of red, looked like he was jacked up a little bit on test, and he honestly he did look like Dana White, but
he did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wonder if he took offense to it though. Like, you're a big pink bald guy. What do you expect? Although, to be fair, Shorts, you are also a big pink bald guy.
True.
So he was like, no, you're Dana.
More than to you.
No, but it's cool.
Dude,
it's like being in the concourse, you're just like on the lookout for fighters. You're just like trying to find cauliflower ear wherever you're looking, and you just assume that everyone around you is either like in the fucking PFL, Bellator, or they're about to be in the UFC.
Well, we had like discussed with each other beforehand, like who are our one seeds, like our biggest gets. If we can get them. And mine was Jim Norton. Which is
that's a good one.
Wants to talk to fighters. I just want to talk to Jim Norton.
That's a good one. Jim Norton is always at the fights.
Yeah, but he actually wasn't at this one. Obviously, big Jim and Sam diehard here. So I heard him talking about it on Monday afterwards, and he said he just did some spots in New York and then went home and watched the fight. So we were looking for nothing, or I was.
Dude, the picture of Jim Norton, you just reminded me, like the picture of him in the background when Anderson Silva broke his leg. Do you remember that?
No, I mean, I remember when he broke his leg. I don't remember the picture.
Let me see if I can share it real quick. This is the first time ever I'm going to try to share something. Let's see if it works.
Back. Trust me, I back.
Okay, here it is. Do you remember this shit?
Oh, yeah. You just
look at Norton's
inquisitive. What year was that? Was that like 2017?
Yeah, that must have been something like that. Yeah. No. It must have been like, it was before I moved to this house. So probably like 2014, something like that.
Okay.
But dude,
that's a great pick.
That injury was so brutal. But anyway,
rough one.
Yeah. So it was a good time. The fights were fun. We don't have to talk about that any more than we need to.
Do you want to talk about the? Because
you fucking said on the show sheet. You said that I'm depressing when I drink.
Oh yeah. You were like you just look so sad, like
because of the way I look or the way I was speaking.
No, you just looked sad. You looked depressed, and I was like, "Dude, we've been talking about this for years. It's in front of us. Why are you so sad?" And you were like, "This is drunk me. Shut the fuck up."
Did I say that?
Yeah, you were like, "This is what I look like when I'm drunk. You guys want to be drunk. I'm drunk. Now it's happening. Shut up."
No, you know what I think it is? I think it's that So I don't really drink all that much anymore. I used to drink like every night.
Yeah.
And I had to go in the past. I had to go really, really hard if I wanted to get hammered. And now that I don't drink, like I don't really have a good gauge on like what is gonna push me over the edge and what isn't. So right. I was so hesitant and like cautious because I was like, I don't want to be a burden to you guys, and I don't want to ruin this night for myself as well. So that was kind of in my head a little bit, and I was
just busting balls. I mean, you were fine, but you were like, you looked like you were a little bit in your feelings, and I thought my assumption, which was probably wrong, was that you just missed being away from your kids or something, which led me down a dark path of a bad bit. But we probably shouldn't talk about that one.
No, come on.
No, I see. If you don't even remember it, you must have been faded.
Is it something I said? Because if it's something
it's something I said. I just made a joke. Like sometimes when I'm hammered, and you know this about me, I go way too far. With bits and jokes and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I was like, dude, it's fine. Like, don't worry about your kids. They're at home safe. Nobody's going to touch them. And you were like, what? And I was like, fucking crazy. What the fuck world am I in?
I do.
But the problem is I did it like 15 times more after that. I just didn't take the cue.
Way too.
And I was like, I'm going to get him. It's going to be funny by the end of the night. And it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. That was interesting.
That's real.
I don't know. No, I know that everything that comes out of your mouth is said in jest, and you're not trying. It's said in Jim Jester, and you're not trying to
be jest. your wife.
Yeah, sending Jessica Bouchera, aka July.
Just
Bouchera, aka July.
did it again. Just went way too far again.
But I don't. Here's the thing. It's weird. I feel like because I'm a hashtag girl dad, I'm more I'm more like sensitive to shtick like that. I don't know. Maybe
No, I get it. No. I mean, you're totally the same one in this scenario.
No,
I get
I'm
it.
just saying, like, I don't know if I would be as sensitive to it if I had boys. But
Okay,
all the boys get molested too. So, like, this is a very dark topic.
Yeah, dude, I told you we shouldn't talk about it. And by the way, fuck everybody.
Yeah, we can move on. I mean, so it was a good trip. You had fun.
Yeah, of course. And can I tell you, like, one of the most fun parts about the trip was attempting to pick you up from the airport. You didn't fly, you took the train, but like you made like a last minute detour and were like, I think if I just get the train to drop me off at the airport, it'll be quicker because our hotel was right by the airport.
Yeah, I'm known to like take to be on the Amtrak and hop off way too early, and that's
world renowned for it. Yeah, world renowned. Yeah. You and I know. Hey, man.
When I got to that airport Amtrak stop, it was for flight passengers only. So like when I went into the like the little the stop, you had to have an airplane ticket to get into the terminal.
Oh no!
And I was just like sitting around waiting for somebody to like, swipe their fucking ticket to let me through. Luckily, like this big fat heart thing was right in front of me. No, not you. And she let me through. But yeah, so yeah, you picked me up, and it was some random ass stop in Newark.
I told you just drop a pin, send it to me, and I'll go to the pin. And that kind of worked almost. But then my phone, I showed you my phone. It was like skitzing out like crazy.
Who doesn't use Waze, dude?
Yeah, I don't. I just use Hertz and Apple Maps.
Yeah, you're still on MapQuest.
Yeah, but see, you were so ready to joan on me for being technologically dumb, which was well within your right.
Right.
But then I said, because we were trying to get back to the hotel at this point, and Newark Airport is the most confusing airport of all time. First of all, I never want to go back to Newark ever again. This was my second dalliance with it. The first one was last summer. When me and my life partner were racing through the airport because they made us late to get off the plane, and we ended up missing our flight to Paris. And they were laughing at us the entire time while we were running through the airport. So fuck Newark Airport for sure. But it's just as confusing trying to drive around that place because there's so many loops, and I know not every airport is as convenient or as small as like Dulles, for instance.
Yeah.
But there's they've got like their own inner loop, outer loop system, and it's crazy. It's wild. It's like one of those floating, one of those wavy arms. It's like that's what the roads are like. So I put it on you, and I said, all right, smart guy, go ahead and get us out of here. And you pull up Waze, and we make it like a mile, and then it just starts rerouting. And we make it like another mile, and it starts rerouting. And you go, all right, maybe you aren't as dumb as I thought you were.
You're right. It was very confusing. But
we finally get back to the hotel, and we're both butt hungry. And I was like, dude, we should go to Joey Rose's. And you were like, what's Joey Rose's? And I was like, dude, it's Joe DeRosa's sandwich shop. It's like
the Joe DeRosa.
The Joe DeRosa. I've just heard a bunch of comics talk about it for like a year or so. I mean, and I was looking at their menu when I was like waiting for you to get there, and I was like, damn, that looks bizarre.
What do they say? They say it's a great restaurant shop or something, or sandwich shop.
Yeah, it's a great restaurant shop that makes great sandwiches. But I was like, it's only like 10 miles from here. And then you look it up, and you were like, yeah, all right, cool, let's go. And then you look it up on Waze, and you're like, well, it is 10 miles from here, but it's going to take us an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah, I was like, fuck no, dude. No sandwiches worth this trip. Dude, that's so annoying about like
New York.
Yeah, New York and just like GPS in general. You'll see like something should be take you way less time than it actually does. You know, like a 10-mile trip should not be a fucking hour, but you know, that's just them's the breaks. But also, dude, like I don't get that size for Joe DeRosa and to
Dude,
like
nobody does. Trust me.
Yeah,
I get it.
Nubs, and I'm pretty sure that his comic friends only say his sandwich shop is great because
they feel bad for him.
Yeah. Like honestly, dude, how good can a fucking cold cut sandwich be?
Dude, it's not just cold cuts; it's hot cuts too. Is that a thing? Hot cuts.
Hot cuts. No, that's not a thing.
Check out their Instagram. I've been following it for like a year, so this is like building up like a hunger for it in my mind for like over a year.
Isn't Jimmy John's cold cuts only?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Like who gets hyped for fucking cold cut sandwiches?
Dude, they've got hot cuts too. I'm trying to explain that to you.
I've moved on from Joe DeRosa. I'm talking about fucking just cold cut sandwiches. Like Jessica, her aunt had a birthday party the other week, and I was like, oh cool. It was when we were in New Jersey. I was like, oh, what'd you guys have for lunch? And she's like, oh, we just got sandwiches. And I'm like, sandwiches? Like fucking just regular fucking turkey sandwiches and shit? And she's like, yeah, we like it. I'm like, you guys are fucking lame, dude. Like,
did you get anything on the side?
Vagina.
But I don't know, man. Am I on an island? Like, do you think cold cut sandwiches are?
No, I think a good sandwich shop should have cold and hot.
Dude, you know what's funny is I forget. Oh, I think it was when I was I was cutting up a video for Aaron Berg, and he does a joke about gabagool, and like after I cut up the video for an hour, I was like, man, I could go for some gabagool right now.
Gabagool.
And I looked up online. I was like, Italian deli near me, and dude, that's how easy it is to fucking plant a fucking idea in my mind.
Dude, you know gabagool isn't actually what it's called, right?
No, yeah, I know.
That's what's so funny about like when The Sopranos was like the hit show.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's like gabagool. it's like prosciutto. It's like there's no thing called gabagool.
Yeah, no, it's called gabagoola.
Capricola, yeah,
Capricola.
No, you're right.
I was like, man, I can go for some fucking silly gabagool. And I Googled online. I was like, Italian deli near me. And this place came up in Herndon, and it was like, very highly rated. And I was like, oh, silly. I'm going to go get a gabagool sandwich or something. And
gabagool.
And I went to the shop, and it was like Italians fucking, working there. It's Italian owned. They got their fucking fancy breads and their olive oil and shit. And I was like, damn, this is going to be delicious. And I asked them to put everything on it. I got some extra gabagool on the sandwich. And then I took a bite out of it, and it was just a fucking normal ass sandwich. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I hyped this up in my head.
That's a dangerous game, like trying to find like a good, like specific cuisine of sandwich, especially like in this area. Like, there's hidden gems around for sure, but you got to somehow know where they are.
But I'm saying, like, if you go to the best sandwich shop, how good can they make a fucking, gabagool sandwich?
Well,
they're going to put fucking shredded lettuce on it. They're going to,
I think it always starts with the bread personally. Like if they have great bread, that like is a game changer. Bread all over area.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like cold cut sandwiches are like, you can only get so good with them. Whereas like a French dip, there are so many elements that you could fucking play with. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's a fucking lettuce and condiments and whatever meat you're using.
Well, the other thing I despise about this conversation, not you bringing up, but just in general, is like in the suburbs, like there's so many chain sandwich shops, like I'm always gonna have a special place in my heart for Potbelly. Like it was my first job, and it's the one job where I don't just hate everybody and hate the entire process. No, I'm just kidding. But I still love just a Basili like meatball sandwich or Italian sandwich from Potbelly, and I think it's holy shit, dude. You look like
you
looks like Marg.
You got to intro Doug before you fucking bring him in. Fuck, man. Hang on, Doug. Hang on. All right, so
hi, Doug. that was his appearance.
our former CNO show producer and today's guest of the show, D-Tet, Doug Tetra, all the way from Kyle, Texas, or some shit like that.
Yeah, some whack ass shit like that.
He's not. Oh, there he is.
Buda, Texas.
Dude. Man, he's like scanning shit.
So some quick background for people is just as it relates to us doing this show is that Doug was our OG producer. Valdez had his shot. But no, Valdez did it for like a week or two, and then the schedule just became untenable for him. And then Doug stepped in. Oh, bye, Doug. See you, Doug. No, don't share that. Dude, Doug almost just gave the entire show away. This is not. Dude, we practiced this, Doug. We rehearsed this.
There he is.
For some reason, it
stop sharing your screen. Oh. God damn it.
Yeah, don't share. Yeah, it's this shit sucks, dude. Fuck StreamYard, by the way. But go ahead, go back and see your little intro.
Yeah, so Doug stepped up, and it was like the perfect fit because we were all around the same age. Doug was making pennies on the dollar like we were. So we all kind of felt, I don't know, like a kinship or something like that.
We were all in boot camp together. We were all that never ended.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Vagina.
Duke's a drill sergeant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we did have we're gonna save this for the Patreon, I think. But we've got a cool game we want to play with Doug. It's called True or False. And we are going to ask questions, and then Doug will tell us whether or not these are questions that relate to all of our shared time at the radio station together. And then Doug will answer whether or not that is true.
I don't think that's how the game works.
You run the fucking game, dude. Okay, you run the game.
Look, is that how the game's supposed to work?
You run the game. You can run the game. All right, big tough guy.
No, I think it can work either way.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah,
that or you guys guess.
I thought Doug was going to tell us stories, and we were going to have to decide or guess if they were true or not.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got a little break coming.
You see how angry he gets, by the way, Doug? Like, I can't see shit, dude.
Shut up, dude.
He was my boss for a while. He was my
Imagine working for that fucking guy.
He would only schedule me, and then people got mad. They're like, "Oh, you just like hanging out with him."
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Oh no, D-Tet.
All right, we're gonna have to let D-Tet go until he can get his shit together.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
Is that Colette?
No.
D-Tet, why don't you give the listeners a brief introduction for yourself?
Yeah, so I started listening to 106.7 The Fan. Or not even The Fan. It was
The Fan. It was the Talk Superstation.
Yeah, this Talk Superstation. And I was in 10th grade, so that was 2001.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across the Junkies when they were doing nights. And I just was hooked.
Right before the Bald Truth.
Dude, way before the Bald Truth. This is, God damn it, what the fuck, man?
That's all right. We can still hear you.
I'm just happy other people get to see what happens to us every single week when we try to do something fun or interesting or off the beaten path.
Yeah,
it's always a fucking issue.
it cuts me off, so I just got to go in there and change the settings.
Just talk. We can still, even if your
still
video
hear you.
cuts off.
So I started listening to them, and I just listen to them every night from them going forward. I still listen to them today, so that's what over 20 years of listening.
Yeah.
I used to participate in the Joan Dome chat rooms with Hagerstown Steve.
Oh yeah, he was a wild one.
Throwback right
Dude,
there.
he was out of control, and like we'd be at all the Junkies events. Like, from
Can
the
I tell you
days going
a
forward.
quick Hagerstown Steve sidebar? He called into the Junkies one time. This was like right after I started like blogging for the show and stuff, and he was talking about how you know how to pick up good hookers in Dubai.
Yeah, dude,
And
he had the craziest stories.
And I turned it into an article, and I swear to God, that thing generated millions of views over the course of like 7 years. It was a hit factory, dude. It was like an SEO mega victory.
Wait, was that guy? Was he married?
No, he was like he was Rom before Rom.
Yeah, true.
Okay. All right.
But eventually, I parlayed that into an internship. I got to know BDK on MySpace and got all the contact information.
I think a gay as hell.
Who else did you get to know on MySpace, Doug? Future wife.
that was a Yahoo chat room.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah, come on, man.
Get it
I'm
together.
not Dana White. Come on, man.
Get it together.
And then, you eventually worked at the station, right?
Yeah, I got an internship, and I wrote in there, I was like, I want to work for the Junkies, and they're like, yeah, so does everybody else. But there was only one show being broadcast out of Fairfax at the time, and it was the Junkies.
Yeah.
Don and Mike were in Rockville, and then those were the two shows that even got broadcasted from DC.
Yeah.
Because they were doing Opie and Anthony, like a simulcast during middays.
Shout-outs.
And then I forget who they had on at night. They had like the kind of like the Love Line spinoff or something.
Oh,
that
was it
Big O?
No, was it? It was
It was like a girl and a guy.
Delilah or something.
Oh yeah.
No, Delilah was on Wash FM.
Oh, okay.
Lush FM. Yeah.
Hey there, Delilah.
You know that song came out way back then, and then it.
You know,
resurfaced, like, 2
a
years
weird
later.
little tidbit about that song. I loved that song. Big surprise. But I knew the Plain White Tees from my college year.
Oh,
At West Virginia.
You mean your college year?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. Motherfucker. You see how hard it is to talk to this guy?
See? He gets mad.
Bitch. No, and then it wasn't until like 3 years later that song blew up. So it was kind of wild. I guess it's just one of those weird like radio things or something like that. But
Dude, I mean, if you guys, D10, I send Shorts these like weird Vice documentaries where they'll just like do like a 30-minute documentary on one song.
Yeah.
oh yeah, those are awesome.
Roach, Last Resort, and it's really good. But
Dude, I remember
It
that
is
being
pretty fucking
played
good.
at the Herndon Bowl America.
You met him
never seen
there?
them play?
It's me,
No,
Kobe Dick, or whatever his name was.
I saw Jimmy's Chicken Shack play at the 930 Club, and then they played my after prom party.
Yeah, more like Jimmy's
Like,
chicken shit.
Yeah, but Shorts, do you remember in the documentary, the lead singer Papa Roach, he just talks about how they sang that song forever and tried to get it to like blow
Yeah.
up for like years and years and years.
Oh, damn.
Finally, fucking,
Isn't
people-
Vice closed now or shut down or something? Or is it the
It's
whole
going
operation
through
or just
it,
their news division?
Nah, they declared bankruptcy, but that doesn't.
Yeah.
They just don't want to pay their debts.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just gonna get free money now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sized.
So Doug has had some, he's had some good experiences at the station. He's had some probably more bad experiences at the station. He was also a victim to the 50-hour work weeks, but 30-hour time.
Yeah, that's when I thought it was the timekeeper. He's like, all right, you can only put 30 hours on here.
Yeah, so technically it was your fault.
Yeah.
So you can only put, like, dude, I'm coming.
The villain. Yeah.
I'm coming in at like 11 a.m. and leaving at 9.
Yeah, you devote your life to fucking 106.7 The Fan, and what do you got to show for it? I guess,
dude. I think the real death knell for radio was when they got rid of the useless dump position, or the role where somebody would like work for 12 hours straight, just running the dump button. Yeah, the room was technically above the studio.
Honestly, that was a waste of money. Like, honestly, I was happy to be there because it was a job and I was like in the station, but it was. I don't think I ever pressed that dump button.
It was the biggest nothing position, but it was basically like in place just so the station could cover their ass in case they got fined by the FCC.
The highlight of me working the dump button was Tanner Cooley coming to hang out with me up there. Like,
oh yeah,
my doppelganger.
I saw his that guy that weird guy recently.
Nick?
Nick Turner. Yeah. I can't even remember where I was, but I saw him.
Let me guess, Buffalo Wing Factory in Ashburn.
No, but he was like the weirdest hanger-on. I'm not even joning, but I definitely am.
Well, LeVar sent him to go to fucking Ocean City with his wife to make sure that nobody hollered at his wife. So it was just Nick Turner and his wife.
Maybe he should have been at what was that bar in Fairfax that we would do all the
prime time?
Yeah, prime time.
Yeah.
Doug, you were killing me with the screen share. I mean, you were fucking killing me.
I don't know what's going on. It's like this.
Are you sharing your screen, D-Ted? Or
no, the StreamYard is like taking over and then like cuts off my camera and then it brings up a screen reader.
That's weird. It'll be better on the recorded version. Anyway.
No, so I started. I was an intern at the station, and for about 3/4 of my internship, I was basically Colette, the front desk lady's intern, because
I miss Colette.
They were like, every time she went to lunch, "Hey, Doug, can you run the front?"
Yeah,
Like, other than that, I was just like helping the salespeople push files.
Take like a 2-hour lunch.
Oh yeah, dude.
She taught you the way.
Yeah, and if I ever left for like more than 10 minutes and like went to the bathroom or anything, and she was sitting there, where you go? Every time, where you go?
Where'd you go?
I mean, I feel like she kind of gets joned.
She was awesome,
exclusively joned on, and like anytime there's like a Colette reference on any podcast or show anywhere. But she really was a great lady, and she would always ask about people. You know, I worked there forever, and she would always ask me, How's Othello doing? Is he all right? Yeah, I made it up. She didn't ever ask that. No,
he said.
Oh, by the way, so Othello got to preview how my weird relationship with my mom, where we tell each other everything.
Yeah, that is weird. I think my mom hates me right now.
No, when we when we were in the hotel, because I called my mom because I was trying to like get her Netflix password or something for the hotel room, and then she's on speaker, and then Othello goes, "Hi, Mrs. Shorts," and then I go, "Othello's doing drugs in here. He's doing drugs. He's doing so many illicit drugs."
Did you say that, dude? Does she believe that for real?
No, of course not. She
right, that shit, dude.
Is this a car outside of Backyard Bar and Grill?
Oh, are we throwing bombs today?
What's the? I thought he was referencing us being in the car with his friend
Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, with Drab.
I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, outside of the
Sundressed Sillies, dude.
Let's move on.
Backyard Bar and Grill is probably the worst bar in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, but it was the home of the Sundressed Sillies, dude.
Yeah,
they stole it. They stole it. They
did they?
I think this is dead business now, so I can probably talk about this. Those guys were bags of shit, right? And they
were Iranian, so of course.
Well, they didn't want to. I don't know if they didn't want to pay as much for the event or whatever, because we had done it there for like 2 or 3 years in a row. So these fucking dickheads went behind everybody's backs and like trademarked Sundressed Sillies. So they couldn't. That's why the junkies had to change it to Summer Dress Party.
Oh damn!
Because they couldn't use Sundressed Sillies anymore because these bags of fucking shit. Yeah.
Freaking exclusive.
Demarco.
I love how you put that out there, but you won't fucking talk about who fucking shit in the bathroom too many times at the station.
Just, it'll all come out.
Are we gonna? Do we need to piss like men?
Doug, who created that piss like men?
Oh, that was a Chad Deuce exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was somebody else, and he just kind of appropriated it.
No, not that I know of. He would come out into the break room or in the call screening room and goes, "All right, let's go piss like men." Like, what? What does pissing with
make me laugh?
Pissing with each other?
Yeah.
How is that like men?
It's like let's go piss like chicks.
Yeah.
Wait, Shorts, who do you think that's borrowed from?
I think I'm mixing up stories in my head. I think Doug was like an early proponent of the day drinking craze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I got Deuce and day drink a lot.
Yeah, but then like a couple of people lifted that experience without credit. Not that Doug invented day drinking.
No, I didn't.
Obviously.
Well, that's had it even more, man.
I started day drinking at that orphanage house like all the time.
Dude, you know who D-Tet looks like? He looks like Marg from the guy that Brendan Cooney
Mark Harley?
Yeah, Mark Harley. Yeah. He looks like Marg, but like a gay pussy version.
Oh, snap, son. Don DeMarco,
Demarco.
Oh shit, Valdez is in here.
Oh,
Vagina.
Just audio of the original idea of Sundressed Sillies to the lawyers of CBS, and they didn't want to pursue. Dude, that's fucking crazy. They didn't want to pursue legal action about it. That's nuts, man.
The last time I saw Matt Valdez was at some bar in Arlington. It was Othello, Angel's wife, and I had just gotten out of radio, and I probably lost like 15 pounds. And he was like, "Man, you know how good it is to be out of radio and you could lose weight." And that's the nicest thing that he ever said to me.
That is nice. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So all right. So now that you're done bragging about losing weight, what else do you want to talk about, Doug?
Yo, by the way, Valdez, I think Valdez and Drab are going to come on the show. We're going to do like a bit season.
It doesn't matter.
Simulcast or I don't know. I keep
like a crossover.
But yeah. So
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's the Valdez for being in here. But
and follow those boys. It's a great show. It's really fun. Valdez and I used to do the original P1 podcast.
Yeah.
But Valdez got mad at me and quit because I made fun of the way he spoke all the time.
For real?
True story.
Who did you pick up that habit from?
Right, true.
Vagina.
We'll call it Richmond Johnson. We'll call it Crossing the Streams. That's a great idea. Should we what do you guys want to do? You want to keep going? You want to do the bid on Patreon? What
I think we should keep going a little bit and let Doug find his footing a little bit and figure out why the fuck his camera keeps shutting off every 15 seconds. That's totally
that's not going to be an issue
that's a StreamYard.
It's not going to be an issue with the recording because
no, I know. Let's give it like 5 more minutes and then we'll switch over to the Patreon. But again, we're gonna play a game. Do you want to play a game?
I like to play a game.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Dude,
porno DVD.
I'm not shitting on Chad for this, but why is it that he's allowed to like make fun of everybody else's mothers and wives and girlfriends and shit like that?
Oh yeah.
But like his life is like off limits. Like that always bugged me.
You know what's weird is he says
Superstar.
everybody wants to fuck their mom.
Well, that's just simple Oedipus complex, but
No.
that's not true.
Yeah, and he has a really weird relationship with his mom. That's not.
No, I'm not
did you
getting
guys-
personal with that. I just always thought like it was weird how he can talk shit on everybody about in our personal lives, but like he's like absolved from that. Like he's got like a force field around him where he's nobody else can jump back.
He's the host.
Anyways,
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
no,
Yeah, but the thing is with Deuce is he was always like that on air, but off air when it was like a one-on-one setting or like a one-on-two setting, he was actually like a good dude for the most part.
yeah.
But
That's what I say. Dude.
it's when like a group of three to four more people show up, then it turns into a show every time.
Yeah, dude, look at that comment on the screen.
Yeah, that's a
Broadcast
that's a Rodcast.
exclusive.
That's yeah.
Vagina.
What I will say about Deuce is like he's Short's actually like said this to me one time. He's a good dude to hang out with. Like
Yeah, totally.
when you're hanging when you're going to the beach with him, when you're fucking doing whatever with him, going to a bar with him, he's fun. But like
A lot of fun. Yeah.
yeah,
What sucked with me was I got into the Deuce like circle
Isolate that.
as you guys were on your way out, or as you said, they're out.
really.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's when I became the assistant producer of LeVar and Dukes, and then you guys started doing your own thing around the station.
Yeah.
And then that took away the thing. It was like, man, I was really sized to hang out with like Dukes, Othello, Blue Shorts, and like drink and do everything like that. And then all of a sudden it was like, I think we played beer pong once at Dukes's townhouse. And then that was it.
Oh, so you missed out on like the action, like the collaboration action.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Dude, there's a street right down the street from my house called High Road, and I think of you.
Yes,
Dad
I
every
know
time
High
see
Road.
that.
Oh, really?
It's Hay Road. Yeah, it's right down the corner. Right around the corner.
Yeah, it's weird. And also, what's weird about that time is it must have been weird for you, D-Tep, because we were friends, but because Shorts and I were kind of like doing our thing at the station, we were kind of like we went rogue, I guess, in his eyes.
Yeah.
He kind of like had it out for us.
Yeah, and he had to shadow ban me from hanging out with you guys, so I had to hang out with you guys behind his back.
Yeah. And I remember
Dude, it was
one
like
time,
Soviet Russia in there.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was telling Duke, he was like, "Why are you so obsessed with hanging out with Shorts and doing shit with him?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I feel like him and I are kind of in the same boat." And he's like, "You guys are not in the same boat." I was like, "Yeah, we are."
You don't get yelled at enough.
First of all, he doesn't yell at me for who I hang out with.
Yeah.
We can start there.
I'm blocked by Chad and Oscar on
Oh, you
Twitter.
are?
Yeah.
By
Oh, yeah.
Oscar?
Oh yeah, both of them.
Yeah,
That's,
who cares
well,
about
did you
Oscar?
talk shit to him?
No. I never talked to Oscar.
I back. Trust me, I back.
No, but
No.
yeah, you were at the station for how long, do you think?
So my internship was around 2007, and then I went back to school. I graduated like 2009, so 2009 to like 2011.
Hey, do you get better
No,
when
it's
people
funny.
call it UK?
No, because that's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, it's
Yeah.
the first time I met or I saw you or I had any interaction with you was at like the Beer Fest screening. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we were in the bathroom.
Was it then?
Yeah.
Were you guys pissing like chicks?
No, we're pissing like men.
But maybe before that, I was with Angel and he was like, "Dude, I fucking know that guy." And I was like, "You know Doug the intern?" He was like, Yeah, man, we went to fucking high school together.
That's hilarious.
Angel and I graduated together.
Yeah.
I had at least 2 classes with him, and he was always hanging out with the fat like Puerto Rican chicks. Like no dudes ever. It was just the fat Puerto Rican chicks.
And he was like, man, I don't think he'll remember me, dude. And I was like, nah, man, everyone remembers you. But he didn't say what's up to you. But that was the first time I was like, oh, who is this Doug the intern guy?
Dude, there's a universe where we all kind of outside, separate from the station, just kind of missed each other. Because I was talking to my my buddy Devin. He worked at Famous Slaves, and you did too, Etzman, and so did Angel, and so did my RIP friend. But it was all like kind of right around. It's almost crazy that you guys didn't meet each other.
Yeah, it is. It is weird, you know.
And you know what's even crazier is that Shorts knows Lumpy.
Oh yeah, Lumpy.
Who's Lumpy?
Dude, nobody knows who that is.
Lumpy is my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
and he was Shorts' lifting partner in high school.
He was like 3 years ahead of me, and yeah, it didn't matter how much I lifted. I was never getting on the field.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, Angel bought me beer illegally underage.
Dude, Angel was the best, man. He bought me porn when I was 17.
But this is before I met him through you, is what I'm saying. I was like 17 also, still in high school.
It was the Famous Dave's hookup.
And my boy James was like, hey, or no, that was something else. It was another guy who also knew Angel somehow. And he was like, hey, my buddy Angel's gonna stop by with some beer. I was like, all right, cool. Dude, this is like 5 years before I ever met you guys. It's wild. Angel just appears and disappears. It's crazy.
No, you only find him in Puerto Rico now, but yeah, man, you used to see the hookup back in the day. Good dude.
Yeah, so we should switch over, right?
When did you start at Oakton, Othello? Because I know you moved from Florida.
Like middle of junior year, so 04.
I was already gone.
Yeah.
Because you graduated with my buddy.
Who?
Alex. Vagina.
All right, cool. Yeah. So on Patreon, we will be going through we'll be playing this game. Whoa, that's a full beer right there. That's not manager pour.
Look at his glass too. He's flaunting. That's a 106.7 WJFK glass.
But I guess you're paying attention now. We will be playing what is it? Hot or Not? Truth or Dare?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
dude, I love Hot or Not.
I looked at Doug's notes and it's very extensive. So he did a great job.
Yeah. We got a bunch of stories from D-Test's time at the station. We'll see you guys on Patreon.
Fuck, dude? Like you're coming at me of all fucking people?
Consider subscribing. It's less than a beer a month. Don't be such a cheap fuck, and we'll see you there.
Yep.
All right, peace out, bros.
Bye, buddies.